Virginia International Raceway, or VIR. iRacing has run it a lot at the start of Season 1 2025, and here we are in the Super Formula Lights. Good little circuit for a Formula car, lots of straights, big 3 full throttle zones. They are absolutely huge for overtaking. Details are on the screen. This was set with the official iRacing sessions of Season 1 2025, so it is the most accurate track guide you'll be able to find. And fingers crossed, we have a good week through here. No rain is forecast for this one, but there is a wet lap in there, just in case for future reference you do need some information on the wet. Let's crack on with it. Right then, VIR, this will be a slipstream fest. There are 3 big full throttle zones that will mention it, and obviously the start-finish straight is one of them. So we'll hunt it down to turn 1. Be prepared for dive bombs and be prepared to slow this car down more than you think. We're braking after the 2 marker, but way before the 1 meter marker, or not 1 meter, 1 marker, and all the way down into second gear. Get it slowed down, easy off the brakes, get all the rotation grip you want around there, and hug that white line on the right-hand side as best you can. Don't run too far left because you'll end up in Narnia and in the grass and off to oblivion. Coming round for turn 2 now. Turn 2 is just setting up for turn 3, so come on the right hand side, bear left, don't worry about this apex, but as we leave that curb right there, or you can see the curb in the distance, brake, and that's what we're aiming for over there. Nice and gentle and neutral over the curb here, no brake, no power on until you get after the curb, and then get on power. Use all of the off track, and the off track when we come back on track is where we brake for the next corner. Really slow it down this one, really compromise this one, stay mid to left circuit as best you can, because you want to open up this corner here. If you can stay full throttle around there, that is really going to help you out, because now we're on full throttle for another time. This is the second big overtaking sort of opportunity in slipstream fest that you will find, because this, even though it's twisty through this bit, this next bit on a straight is actually a very long straight with a lot of slipstream, and you need to keep that speed nice and high. Even going through these S's, people will try and go too wide through here. It is possible if you both give each other space, but you know, we know what iRacing's like. So if you are single file through here, loads of curbs on each one and a little tickle on this one as well. Flat out on this one without too much issue, just avoid the curb because of these sort of speeds, and we're going over a crest at this point, so we want to stay far right. And as we come down this little dip about now, that's our turning point. Absolutely pinned. First 2 laps do not. You might have to have a drag or brake through there and possibly even a big lift on throttle. Bring it over to the left-hand side now, and we're spotting the marker for this very awkward, important corner. So 3 marker, nice and heavy on the brake. Get off the brakes, very gradual. You want to deaccelerate and turn at the same time. So that's when we're being very delicate on the brakes. Get a nice little cheeky tickle on the curb if you can, but don't take it too much because otherwise you'll bounce off and end up into more grassland over here. You need a good exit out of that corner. It's a long haul uphill now, and slipstream will be massive. It's uphill, so the slipstream is going to be even more, effective even in the FSL because it's insane anyway. But pointing for the braking point here, we're looking at the 1 board. So at the 1 board, if we just pass it, brake nice and heavily, and then as we come around the corner again, we've got to turn and brake at the same time, so be gentle on the brakes. Loads of curb on this one because we're going slow enough, and we want to try and open up the next corner as best as possible. It is flat out, but just be careful of this curve. You can see the car reacting. It is very bumpy. The car can handle it, but on cold tires, you might have different results. Coming to the last corner, again, this is very important because it leads on to the start-finish straight, which is the 3rd zone of full throttle. Brake as we come off the first curb. Loads of curb on that one to get the rotator. Absolutely smash it because you don't want to run too wide because it will ruin your exit. And as soon as you touch that grass on the left-hand side, you'll end up into that green barrier about a mile away. It takes you about a year to get back on track at VIR, so do not make those mistakes. Stay on the tarmac and you should be absolutely golden. It's a dry week on Season 1, Week 2, 2025. But if it isn't, here comes the wet lap. The wet one now, although this week in iRacing isn't wet, I do these so for future reference. So if you want to watch it and learn something about VIR in the wet, keep on watching. This is the slipperiest place in the world out of interest. So we're 2 marker, we're before it this time, and we're off the racing line. We're sort of middle of the circuit and really slow down the car. Get gently turning in as we cross the rubberized line. You can see it shiny on there and get to the outside of the circuit. The only time you want to be out here is in the wet. If you're out there in the dry, it's no good. Get nice and easy on the throttle. You see, I'm not 100% on full throttle yet, which is terrifying. It is so slippery, this place. It is unreal. Preparing for turn 2 is a little bit interesting, so we want to come round the outside and then brake way before the apex of that turn 2 and then ease it round. We have to be on the rubber line at this point because there is only 1 line through turn 3 really to carry the speed, and we're avoiding the curb because the curb are made of ice. Coming now into turn 4, which is a really awkward left-hander in the wet, so we're using the same braking points as the dry. Brake offline though, get the car really slow down, and again we're going to have to touch the curb because we're going slow enough, but stay far left-hand side as best you can to really open up this next corner. Again, missing the apex and the rubberized line because we want to try and maximize our straight line speed as best we can. And then round this corner, big lift through here. You have to get close to the curb, just be preparing for the grip. Hopefully the downforce is being our friend at this point, starting to give us some more grip in the wet. You see a little bit slidey there because I'm touching the curb, and I'm doing it there because I haven't learned my lesson yet. Full throttle zone at this point, so this will be an overtaking opportunity. But who wants to go too wide through here? Because it is dangerous because it has a puddle in it. So this one is actually okay. It's the next one. You'll go over here and over crest, and you'll find that the car will just understeer about now. And you just have to kind of aim for the third apex in that complex and hope for the best. This corner is actually flat out, but you can see there, I get very, very close. Brake as we come down that little dip there, and look how much I'm on the brake. In 5th gear, down into 4th. Gently, 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 all the way down there. Then feeding the power nice and smoothly. You kind of just have to survive around there and take as much speed as you can. It's not too bad because we've got downforce on our side at these sorts of speed. Braking way before the 2 mark, couple of car lengths, but again, we're off the racing line and really need to get this car slowed down before we start entering this complex of corners here at the end of the circuit. We want to maximize our straight line speed because it's a big full throttle zone we're coming up to, so we have to go on the rubberized line. But just be gentle, look at the throttle, 1st gear, gently, gently does it. I'm on the curb, but I'm accelerating in a straight line, so it's not too bad. And I am preparing for the car to slip out and step out. Again, full throttle is a thing. Slipstream's still going to be a thing. And in the wet round here, it's uphill. It's going to be carnage. So in a nutshell, just prepare for the braking zone. And all else fails, bail out if you don't feel safe enough. Get to the middle of the circuit, braking at the 2 marker. Nice and easy. Get all the braking done now. And then tippy toe around here. We're on the racing line again. We kind of don't want to be, so we kind of straight line it as much as we can while still de-accelerating the car. You can take curve around here, just be careful of the understeer and the oversteer on snap exit. And then around this corner, we want to go all the way around the outside. We want to avoid the curves. There's puddles there, there's a rubberized line, avoid it as best you can. Last corner now, we're going to get this done and dusted because this is tricky as anything. End of the curve in there, we're actually braking at this point. You really have to brake it and take it easy because this last corner is a complete pain. You have to go around the outside because you go anywhere near the curb, there's a puddle there, I swear. It just sends you off and spits you out into oblivion again. So please, please bear that in mind. Go around the outside around there, and then a big lift for this. Technically, that's the last corner of the circuit, but we won't count it because it's a kink. Big lift around there as well, just to be safe. Start finish line straight is a straight, and that is it, but done and dusted. But yeah, this was the most slippery race track I've ever been on, and I say that from week to week to week to week when I do the wets, but this was terrifying. Fingers crossed this one helped you out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching this point. Catch you on the next one.